Hey everybody, John Houlihan here. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a really great day. This is the fourth video in the Great Guitar Tone series, and the song we're going to look at today is Run to You by Bryan Adams. I don't know if you've watched any of the previous videos in this series, but basically the idea of this whole series, Great Guitar Tone, is to try to recreate the tone on signature riffs of very famous songs. And we want to try to reproduce that tone using equipment that a lot of guitar players are going to have. So we're not going to break the bank and have, you know, $2,000 effects pedals and going really crazy. We want to try to keep the cost down to a reasonable level. So this is not a guitar lesson per se. This is really how do we get that guitar tone that we got on the signature riff of this song. But of course I'm going to try to play it as accurately as I possibly can. Okay, so the song Run to You was recorded at Little Mountain Sound in Vancouver, Canada. It was written by Bryan Adams and Jim Vallance, his longtime songwriting partner. The song begins with a really cool guitar riff that uses a chorus effect. And chorus effects, I think, were really popular during the 80s. I'd say the 80s was the decade of the chorus effect. Now, of course, they still use chorus today, but it seems to have been, it was really big back then. The Police, lots of bands used it. This song, Run to You, later went on to become one of Bryan Adams' biggest hits, peaking at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was certified gold in Canada. Okay, so the original equipment used to record the song Run to You, pretty sure Bryan Adams played a Fender Stratocaster, which is what we're going to use. In fact, if you watch the video, he has a blue Stratocaster with a rosewood fretboard. So pretty sure he used a Strat. Now, as far as amps goes, they probably used a Marshall amp, you know, mic'd with a Shure SM57. That was probably like a pretty big Marshall, 50, 100 watts. We're not going to use that. So the equipment I'm going to use a 62 reissue Fender Stratocaster, which happens to be blue with a rosewood fretboard. The amp is a Fender Blues Junior with a reissue Jensen P12Q speaker in it. We got some Boss effects. I got my Boss CS2 compressor, which is my always-on effect. I like playing with the compressor, just evens things out. Boss CE3 chorus. And I don't have like a nice digital reverb, so we're going to use a stereo reverb plug-in in Logic Pro, my DAW software. And we're going to use, the microphone's going to be a Shure SM57 dynamic mic. Okay, so the guitar we're going to be using is a Fender Stratocaster. Same one he used, Bryan Adams used for the recording. This particular one is a 62 reissue. Midnight blue with rosewood fretboard. We're going to have the pickup selector in the number 1 position, so that's the bridge pickup. Gives you the most sort of top end type sound. We're also going to be using a capo on the 2nd fret so that we can play it in the same key as the original recording and you guys can do some comparison. Okay, so let's have a look at the effects we're using for this video. We're using the Boss CS2 compressor just to even out the dynamics. That's my always-on effect that I'm, you know, play with almost all the time. And then the only other thing we're going to use is a Boss CE3 chorus. And the rate control is set to the 12 o'clock position. The depth is also set to the 12 o'clock position. Of course, you don't have to use a Boss chorus pedal. There's lots of different manufacturers of chorus pedals, and some of them are pretty fancy, but this just happens to be the one that I have. All right, so let's have a look at the amplifier settings we're going to use on our Blues Junior. We got the preamp volume set at 7, which is basically the kind of the edge of breakup on the preamp tubes. Fat switch is in the up position, so it's off. Trebles on 3, bass is on 3, mids we got set to 5, and the master volume, an indication of how hard we're working the EL84 output tubes, that's set to 3. Now the reverb is at 1, which is basically off because in the song they use a pretty fancy stereo reverb, so we're going to use a reverb plugin called Chromaverb in Logic Pro to try to duplicate that. Okay, so we got our chorus pedal on, and we're going to try to play the intro riff from Run to You by Bryan Adams. Okay, so that's the intro riff. Hope the tone sounded pretty close to what you guys are hearing on the recording. There's also, it's not really a guitar solo, but more like an instrumental break about halfway through the song, where I think they're probably not using a Stratocaster. They're probably using a guitar equipped with some sort of humbucking pickups. But we're going to sort of attempt to do it on the Strat. So I'm going to switch to the number 3 position here, which is the middle pickup. Gives you a little bit fatter tone. And I'm going to turn on the Ibanez Tube Screamer, and we're going to attempt to duplicate this instrumental riff that you guys will also hear in this song. Okay, so after that instrumental break, I turned off the Tube Screamer, put it back to the number 1 pickup, and went back to the strum that you hear in the intro. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, the 4th in the Great Guitar Tone series, where we did Run to You by Bryan Adams. Let me know if you think we did pretty good on the tone. We got it pretty close. And please hit the subscribe button down below, and we'll see you next time.